I'm drinking tea this time. Got my jug of tea. So we're going to do this video a little bit differently because I recently went and redid a lot of my Ying builds. In fact, I reworked pretty much all of my Ying builds. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be showing off each of the Ying builds that I have, and we're going to be talking about each of her loadout cards a little bit. So rather than building a build on the spot, by the way, I just wanted to mention that ahead of time. So Ying right now is in an interesting place because she has a high degree of damage, she has a high degree of healing, and she can do a little bit of both, but it all depends on what you do. So let's look. You have a lot of damage if you're not running Life Exchange, but you don't do as much healing. If you do run Life Exchange, you do a lot of healing, but you don't have a lot of damage. And to put things in perspective, Ying with Focusing Lens or Resonance can do anywhere from 50,000 low end up to 200,000 in damage. My highest total on Focusing Lens is 135,000. My highest on Resonance is 200,000 in damage. That's career, like, all-time high. That being said, you know, I've seen people that get like 200k damage on Focusing Lenses. For healing, though, the most healing I've ever gotten with Resonance is 104,000, and the most healing I've gotten with Focusing Lens is like 94,000. I'm not really a fan of Focusing Lens, but it is very strong right now just because of how much damage she deals. Resonance is actually the solid healing card right now, so... But on Life Exchange is insane. The most healing I've gotten is 350k, but the most damage I've ever gotten is 60,000. 60,000 damage on Life Exchange Ying, that is great damage, but that's the most. My average total is like 16 to 25,000 damage. So when you look at her ult is obviously one of her best things. You know, so you also have to decide how Life Exchange makes things difficult. So normally you just drop a clone and you let the clone heal. But the downside is that the illusion only heals 420 every 1.6 seconds, and the clone only stays up for about 5 seconds. So realistically, you're getting about 1,000 health over those 5 seconds, so about 200 health per second. And because it only affects one person at a time, it's actually kind of chunky. You get a burst of 420 health every 1.6 seconds. So the illusions are these little burst heals. Now, you can't have multiple illusions out. I like Shatter because... I like Life Exchange because the Shatter, you have the 800 heal on top of that, so it lets you supplement your healing. Plus her ult. So let's talk a little bit about cards real quick. So, this is the test build. I could get rid of this if I want to, but I'm not going to just yet. So, let's talk about cards. What cards do I have? Well, let's start with the builds, actually. So this is my normal Life Exchange build. You have Brittle. This reduces the cooldown of Shatter, so this puts the Shatter at a 3-second cooldown. And then anytime an illusion dies to an enemy, I reduce the cooldown by an additional 2 seconds, which puts it at 3 seconds as well. So basically, this is designed, if they want to shoot the clones, it just gives me more clones. I have some extra time up on the illusions so that they heal a little bit longer, and then eliminations, reducing all active cooldowns by 1 second. I think this is a strong build. If you want to, you could take encouragement out and maybe put rewind in, but for this build, I don't really need to go for it. Pinch Runner, this is a resonance build, so this is designed around... I have, you know, good amount of health. So the illusions move faster if I choose to shatter them. If an enemy decides to shoot them, I drop the cooldown to 3 seconds. And every time that I teleport to a dead illusion, it will spawn an illusion with 20% health. I don't need it to be high health just because of the fact that it's going to explode when it dies. So this is a good resonance build right here. We have Sniper. This is the build we're going for Focusing Lenses. So what you have is you have a little bit less health. You still have the little rewind card there. You could probably swap this card out. Maybe swap that card out for Carry On instead. So basically what the point of this build is, you're going to be firing a lot. So you're going to have the reload speed, so you just buy Deft Hands 1 and you're good. And then you have Mesmerize, so that when you drop an illusion, it's like a free reload. So that's the build on this. We have the test build, which is kind of a resonance build, so the illusions will move faster and will heal for 65% of the damage dealt by shatter. If we have multiple illusions out at a time, because we have Spring Bloom in there and we have Rewind, honestly, this might be the build that we test, just because I want to see how much health I actually get if I'm going to rework this into maybe a more mobile build, like the flank build. And then this is Elim spam. This is, every time I get an elimination, it reduces all active cooldowns by 5 seconds. Now, the reason why I have that is, if I run this with Life Exchange, then this could be a good reset on everything. This resets absolutely everything. If I run this with Resonance or Focusing Lens, I completely reset the cooldown on the illusions, reset the cooldowns on everything. So I have the Spring Bloom, so I get my illusions back. Pursuit, always great if you're planning on shattering them. But really, the downside to her is you're either going for damage or you're going for heals. So we're going to look right here, and let's look at the cards. Carry On is a strong card, but you don't want to put it up any higher than 3. Just because of the fact that your illusions are going to get destroyed so often, even accidentally. Like, Area of Effect Champions are going to destroy them, front lines are going to destroy them. It's just one of those things that it's going to go down. Another thing, too, if you don't have enemies in line of sight to shoot, that doesn't mean don't shoot. That means hit the illusions. So, anything higher than a 3 is kind of a waste of points, because you're not really going to keep your illusions out for 10 seconds. That's just not happening. Squadron is another card, because you can only increase the illusion's health up to an additional 500. This is not good at any level. I don't like seeing people run this. It doesn't really force Bulldozer. It forces maybe 1 or 2 extra shots, depending on the character you're on. I mean, even Victor, realistically, only needs 2 or 3 extra shots. Spring Bloom is, of course, fantastic, but it's one of those cards that's only good at 2 and 4 for a 1 second and a 2 second, but it's really strong, because this pairs well with... It does pair well with Carry On, believe it or not. It's like, oh, the illusions stay up, you get the benefit of Carry On. If the illusions don't stay up, you get the benefit of Spring Bloom. Mesmerize is pretty much only good, in my opinion, if you are running Focusing Lens, where you're focusing more on firing your weapon and trying to hit all your shots, and you can kind of burn through ammo quickly. So I would pretty much run that on Focusing Lens. I wouldn't run it on anything else. But definitely Spring Bloom, one of your best cards. Carry On's decent. Looking at these cards right here, Fracture is a solid card if you're running a Life Exchange build, but in my opinion, there's better cards. Especially because, again, they're going to be shooting the illusions a lot. It's not really that great, other than as a filler, but if you're running Fracture, you need to have Carry On with it, so that the illusions stay up longer. I personally feel that there's better cards, but if you want to do a build where you have Carry On at 5, and you have Fracture at 4 or 5, and maybe you have Brittle or Encouragement in there, and so it's just like, you know, every time you activate Shatter, the illusions are back to full health. That's kind of cute, but it's just going to force the enemy team to buy Bulldozer, really, and that would just cut it out. Brittle. Brittle's an interesting card. Again, it's a 2 or a 4 card. You only use it at 2, or you only use it at 4. It's a very, very strong must-have if you are running Life Exchange. If you're not running Life Exchange, I would not recommend this. I think there are a lot better cards. Because if you're not using the Shatter to heal, there's no real point. I mean, you need the illusions up to heal. Sending out the clones to do damage isn't that great. The advantage of Resonance is that it really punishes tanks, because if their allies are in the back shooting the clones, and it just causes the tanks to start losing lots of damage. Harmony, that's what we're going to be testing more than likely. I've always thought of this as a shit card, so I'm making a meme build to see if we can actually pull off and see how viable it is. And then Pursuit is one of my favorite cards if you're running Resonance or Focusing Lens, just so that those clones can just go in there, they just ram right in there and go BAM and blow up in people's faces. Because a lot of people think they can run away from the illusions, but with Pursuit, the fact that they move 40% faster is so strong. But to be honest, if you're not running it at tier 3 or above, I wouldn't run that card. I don't really run any of her teleport ones other than Rewind. I don't like Shuffle because the Dimensional Link doesn't last that long. It's only 4 seconds, and I tend to just use it to mind game the opponent, so I don't think Shuffle's a great card, but it can be good if you're increasing the duration. Then again, I'm not really a fan of increasing the duration that much. It's mostly a quick get-out-of-jail-free card. I do like the cooldown reduction card, but to be honest, I think Efficiency is a bad card. I think it's completely outmatched by Encouragement. Encouragement's a great card. It's a great filler, just taking an additional second off every time you get an elimination, or you can put a bunch of points into it and go for maximum cooldown reset. Remember that, especially if you're running Life Exchange, your Shatter and your Illusions are going to have longer cooldowns. So an elimination lets you do a good chunky burst heal. Disappear, that's a strong card for movement speed, because you can get up to 35% movement speed out of combat. The only real downside to this card is that it's not really that great once you get into shooting and laying down clones and stuff like that. It's not as useful. This is only good if you're running like a focusing lens build because of how much you're going to be firing. So, same thing with Mesmerize. And then Tangible is always solid. But anyways, enough of this. Let us drop into a game. We are going to be running that test build. I'm going to rework the illusion build here. So, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try the elimination spam for healing. And see if that works. I'm going to do that off video. I'm not going to do that for this video. I'm going to do it for if I get in another video. I just got to hope Ying isn't picked. Right now, the downside is, like, every Ying is playing Focusing Lens because of how much damage you can do and how much damage you can confirm. There's two things I want to note with Focusing Lens. One, you don't get Life Rip off of the bonus damage.
Ying. Make your champion your own.
Okay. Not bad. We have a Grover. That's definitely going to help with the resonance, because we're not going to be going main heal. But it is going to hurt us because now they're going to buy a lot of cards. So we have double healer, double blasters. By the way, this weapon is absolutely pay to win. Just wanted to let you know. This weapon is like, the rate of fire is insane. And that's compared to Ying's normal rate of fire. I don't know. I kind of like the Banshee skin. I think the Banshee skin is my favorite. I don't like the Death Speaker because it covers her face, and I kind of like her facial animations in game. I just like how sarcastic she is as well. So it's like, this is my favorite Ying skin. I see a lot of people run the Carnival skin, and they're just like straight DPS players. Every Carnival Ying that I've seen runs Focusing Lens, and they are a straight DPS. They have like 40k in healing, and they've got close to 100k in damage. When I was like a big Moji person in the heyday of me playing Moji, they literally, that was the bane of my existence. It'd be Vivian because of her fucking shield, it'd be Drogoz because I couldn't hit the fucker in the air, and it'd be Carnival Ying. Carnival Ying! Because they always ran Focusing Lens, and they would just sit there while I was in my little magic barrel. They'd be like, they'd be all ghetto on my bit. I don't give a fuck. You gonna die when you come out of that shit. So we're definitely going to go with the Resonance. We're going to run the test build. Alright, so what to buy with Ying? Haven and Blast Shield, they're good. Not so much Resilience because it's just not that great. She's a solid filler on Wrecker or Caught. Depth Hands is alright on Focusing Lens. Bulldozer, if they have another Ying. Kill to Heal is great on her. We will pick that up. Life Rip, not so much. Reju with a second healer, never Veteran. The big thing is morale boost. I see so many people running Chronos, and I just want to punch them in the fucking face. Because that's not what you're going to be doing. You do not want to buy Chronos on a healer who has such good cooldown reduction. Maybe Nimble.
Capture the objective.
And so
okay.
it begins.
I'm on it. Thanks.
Okay, so we're doing
on
drop
my
a
way.
clone. So I got a 650 heal out of that. Wow, I actually got a 650 heal off of that. That's pretty good. You want to run the morale boost because her ult is one of her stronger ways of healing. I got you double.
So, attack up the middle.
Alright, she's gonna max knockback.
On my way.
Double
Oh,
kill.
Victor got behind us, right? Pick up the Wrecker, we'll pick up the Resilience, and then we'll pick up the Idiot. Wow, our Drogus is an idiot. Jesus.
You
Yeah, we're not winning that. Not buying the kill now. Oh wow.
Be careful.
Enemy double kill.
Be careful. Be careful. Be careful, please.
Enemy raptor.
Dead here? Yeah, I'm dead here. Morale
Enemy
boost should be your
killing
only
spree.
thing. Where I'm playing more
An enemy is
damaging, it's not really as
unstoppable.
important. So,
You are
Perfect. Capture the objective.
yeah, I wouldn't say this build is that strong.
Be careful. Be careful. Be careful.
Enemy killing
It's kind
spree.
of hard to beat careful point. We don't really have anybody pressing the swing. That's a bad ult, by the way. Tank died too quick. Using this ult mostly to counter him.
minion. Come forth.
Be careful. Be careful.
Alright, so we know this build isn't gonna work. We're gonna have to scrap it, but whoa! Throwing?
Be careful.
I think our ruckus. Yeah, our ruckus is either throwing or botted out.
Minion. Come forth.
Give him a little bit of a heal.
An enemy is savage.
One.
Killing spree.
Defend left flank.
Nice ult, nice ult. Ah, Vix is one. I'll pick up a wreck or two. It's not really gonna matter here, but I'm the only one going through the Fortress Breaker. When there is Fortress Breaker, you kind of need to pick it up.
You are.
Let's fight!
concerned about the enemies behind me. Rolled up. Just keep everybody alive. Grab on that garbage.
Enemy killing spree. Don't deny me this embrace.
Bit of an overextension.
Killing spree.
Okay, we're actually making a comeback here. I'm actually thoroughly impressed. I don't know if we're gonna be able to make the comeback up in time. Maybe we are. Who knows? Oh my god, we're winning.
Enemy double kill.
We're gonna lose on the next death. No, I was that last death! No, we almost had that! It would have been an amazing comeback!
Look at my bank account. Look at
Oh,
my bank account.
I am so disappointed now! That was such a good game! I got quiet, frustrating. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with that comeback that we did. He was able to get out some good damage. Let's see the numbers. So that build didn't work, but it was worth a shot. I definitely could come up with another build to replace it. Yeah, if you look, I wasn't focused on healing there, so 22k healing, but I did get top damage on my team. I love, what the hell? They keep censoring everything. Jesus, I'm wondering if my name gets censored at all. I'll put GG. No, I don't get censored. I got top tank on my team. So, I got top tank and top damage on my team. So, yeah, Ying and Ball.
Ying.
I'm gonna get rid of that build. I'm gonna see if I can create a new build. So, you have the Elim spam for heals. Maybe I will go for the long-lasting illusion build. So we're going the long-lasting illusion builds. I have Spring Bloom in there. I don't know if I want to make it a heal build though or not. I shouldn't. No, because I'd have to put too many points into that. Put that in. And I guess I'm putting this in. No, I'll put that in. So we'll have that at 5. We'll have that 2. the name of a Bond movie? But we'll try that later on. Alright, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.